Hello everyone, welcome back to Conarchy YouTube channel. In our previous videos, we've learned how to define our materials and our section properties. We've learned how to define our concrete, our rebar, and also our sections, that are our column, slab, and our beam that we'll be using for this modeling. So today's video, we are just going to model this. We are just going to place our columns and our beams in their prescribed locations. And looking at this drawing, we've made some slight modification to the dimensions. First, we used to have 4,000 millimeters here, but we've just modified it to 5,000. So we will also be doing that editing in our grid lines and some few editing. It's not really much, so just some changes that we'll be doing in today's video. But in today's video, we are going to be doing something much more interesting. That's where we'll be modeling our structure, placing our columns and our beams at their prescribed places. So that's what I'll be doing in today's video. So don't forget to like and subscribe to today's video and also to my channel. And also, if there's anything you want to know much about or anything you want me to make a video on, just leave a comment in the comment section and just let us interact with each other. So let's get started. This, as I said, you have to change this dimension. As in our previous plan that we had, it was 4,000, so let's change the 4,000 to 5,000. So we have to open our grid lines. So this is my grid lines, so you also have to open yours. And if you don't know how we came about this, and this is your first time watching a video, just go back to the previous videos we've made and just watch everything, and you'll be okay to just continue with this. So we are just going to edit this. So edit, story, modify grade system, so display as spacing. Oh, okay, so it was 4 earlier, but I'm going to change it to 5. That's it, and we are done. So okay and okay, so now it's 5 meters over here. So you also have to change that in your grid lines. So now what do we have to do next? We just have to place our columns and our beams in our structure. So we have our C1 columns at the exterior. So we have the exterior columns to be the C1. So we're going to place the C1s all around our building. And also the C2s will be the interior columns. So let's go about with that. So looking at this, we have various tools here. We have our beam, our column, our slab. These are the slab and our walls. So we also have to learn how to do that. So first of all, we are going to start off with the columns. So looking at here, we have 1 story. So when we are about to place our story, we have our columns. We have to change this to all stories. That means whatever happens at the first or the upper story or whichever story you do the editing on, it same applies for the various stories. So let's select all stories, and we are going to place our column here. So we have our column to be this. So quick draw columns. So we are going to select this one. So now we have our properties of the object. We have property to be still column, but this is not the column we want. So we are going to change this to our C1 column that we created. So this is our C1 column. So the column that we created, so C1. And we are going to place it at the middle center. So let's place our C1s at the exterior grid line. So here, here, here. You can just also do this to also move faster. Yep. And also here. So because I selected all stories, when I draw a column in this story, it's the same applies to the rest of the story. So it gives me a full column. So that's it. And what do we have to do next? We have to place our C2s in the interior. So we have C2, and I'm going to place that in the exterior grid lines. So that's it. And what else do I have to do? Let's go back to our drawing. So we have the stairs, where the staircase is. We have this dimension to be 3,000, but in our drawing, in our grid lines we created, this one was 6,000. So I'm going to teach you something very like simple we are using to create that staircase area. So this is 6,000, but we need 6,000, so but we only need 3,000. That's like 3 meters for the staircase. So we are just going to draw. We are just going to offset this point 3 meters to this direction to also get that point that we can also place our columns at that area. So we just have to go to draw joint objects. Also you can use draw reference points too, but let's go with this one, draw joint objects. So with this plan offset, we want to draw it we want to move this point in the x direction. But looking at this arrow, the x direction is moving in this direction, but we want our point to be drawn in this direction. So with the direction, we are just going to negate the value. So we need like 3 meters in the x direction. But looking at our unit, it's in millimeters, so we have to change. So we have to just input our values in millimeters. So negative 3,000. And hit enter on the keyboard and just come and select this point, and you see we have this point also like replicated at this place. So all you have to do the same thing here, and we also have this point also here. So now we are now able to place our columns at that point created. So C1, that's also a C1 column. So C1, and I'm going to place that at this joint. Have our points allocated here. That's our 3 meters. So all we have to do is select our C1 column and also place them here. So I'm going to place it here and also place it here. So now I have my C1 columns also here. I have my C2 columns also here. So all I have to do now is to also draw my beams. So I'm just going to draw the beams all over the allocated places. So let's go to quick draw beam. So I prefer this one since it's much quicker. I mostly use this draw beam when I'm drawing an inclined beam. So quick draw beam. And I'm just going to select it. Just going to do it as fast as possible. So this, don't forget to also make it like all stories. That is going to replicate the same things here. So here and this, we only need this beam. So let's escape from this and just pick this beam. So with this, I can draw from this joint to this joint and then here. And now it seems I have everything that I need. So let's send it to this view. I can just rotate. So now I have my beams and my columns placed in my model. So all I have to do now is to assign my slab. So we have this option. We have a draw floor slab. We have the first option. That is, so this is how we do this. Once you select this option, you just click on the first point, move to the second point, then just like that, and voila, you have your slab drawn. But you can also use a different format. We have a quick draw floor, which is much faster. You just have to select the space you want to place your slab. So here, just like that. You just keep on clicking and so just replicate wherever you need them. But the problem here is that it's at all stories, so it's even replicating on the base. That's my ground floor. So let me go to the base. So you just click on plan then base, apply. And just look at that, we also have slabs at our ground floor, that's at our base, but we don't need them there. So all we have to do is just select them and just delete. We don't need them. And another important thing, so now we are done with our beams, our columns. Oh, sorry about that. I think so I'm going to delete this. So remember, when you are deleting this, you have to change this one from all story to one story, because if it's in all story, like it selects every slab in the various stories, which I don't want that. I just want to delete this slab in the base. So I'll just have to come on one story, select everything, then just delete. And that's it. So now we also have this. We have the 3D. Let's go at story 2. Sorry about that. So there we have it. We are done modeling everything. We've placed our beams, our columns, our slabs, and this is the area we will be drawing our stairs. And that will be for the next video. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed today's video with placing of our columns and everything. So in our next video, we are just going to learn how to model stairs. So that's where we are just going to modeling in this area. So that was it for today's video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this video, subscribe to the channel, and if there's anything you just want to just bring my mind onto or just be interactive, just leave a comment in the comment section and I'll just get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you.